Coming up tonight, police solve a cold case from 13 years ago, charging a man with the murder of a missing female student. From next month, employers must pay an extra cost of up to $3,000 for every new helper from Indonesia. And it's finally happening tomorrow. Tickets are still available for the largest live concert since the circuit breaker. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. Good evening, I'm Chow Suan. 13 years after Felicia Teo Wei Ling went missing, a man has been charged with her murder. The alleged killer, Ahmad Danel Muhammad Rafai, 35, was arrested on Tuesday and appeared in a district court via a video link today. According to court documents, he allegedly worked together with another man to commit the crime. The police are searching for Ms. Teo's remains. The case had triggered a nationwide search for Ms. Teo back in 2007, making newspaper headlines at the time, but the case was never solved until now. Ms. Teo and the alleged killer were said to be friends, and the 19-year-old was believed to be last seen entering a lift with him and another man at an HDB block in Marine Terrace in June 2007. However, in interviews with the police then, both men had maintained that she left the flat of her own accord. The police said they had conducted extensive investigations but did not find anything incriminating, and the case was classified as a missing persons case. Fast forward to July this year, the case was referred to the Criminal Investigation Department. A breakthrough came after the CID uncovered new leads while tracing the belongings that were believed to be in Ms. Teo's possession when she was reported missing. Those looking to hire Indonesian foreign domestic workers will have to pay up to $3,000 more to do so. From next month, employers must pay a one-time placement fee that used to be borne by incoming foreign domestic workers, due to a new ruling by Indonesian authorities to ensure workers can come to Singapore debt-free. The one-time fee to cover expenses such as transportation, accommodation and medical examinations incurred by new FDWs coming to Singapore used to be clawed back from the maid by deducting her salary for months. A fake SG arrival card website fishing for personal particulars of travellers arriving in Singapore has been found by the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority. The website, named Online Singapore Arrival Card, claims to be the electronic arrival card introduced by ICA to replace the paper DE card. This fake website also requests for payment of $30 for the submission of the card. In an advisory today, ICA stressed that the official SGAC e-service does not require travellers to make a payment to complete the online submission. A police report has been made, and ICA will work to bring down the website and continue to monitor the situation. French President Emmanuel Macron has become the latest world leader to test positive for COVID-19. The 42-year-old took a test after symptoms appeared and will now isolate for 7 days. His office says Mr. Macron is still in charge of running the country and will work remotely. 24 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed today, the highest daily count since September 29th. None were locally transmitted. All the new infections were imported and placed on stay-home notice or isolated upon arrival in Singapore. 13 of them are returning Singaporeans or permanent residents. To achieve herd immunity, experts say at least 2/3 of Singapore's population needs to be vaccinated against COVID-19. But given how infectious the virus is, Professor Wee Eng Yong from the Duke NUS Medical School told the Straits Times today that a higher percentage may be necessary so that our lives can return to normal.
The herd immunity question is very straightforward if you have sterilizing immunity. Okay, then the math is very simple. It's 1 minus 1 divided by R naught, right?
Sorry, can you explain that a little bit, please?
So we know now that R naught, or R0, R naught, is the number that tells you how infectious this virus is. And we know now that it's about 3. If you don't control this disease, it's about 3.
So one person can infect 3, roughly, okay?
Yep. So if you want to stop SARS coronavirus 2 from being transmitted, is 1 minus 1 over 3. In other words, 2/3 of the population. As long as there's sterilizing immunity, you're done. That's it. Right. There's no more epidemic, right? Now, because we don't know that, what mean is that we may have to vaccinate more than 2/3. But because of the reduced transmission from vaccination, because there's less cough and all that, right? I think you would still achieve herd immunity. It's just that the number isn't 2/3. You may need 80, 90%.
Let's take a look at some stories that are sparking conversations online. Singapore's biggest live concert since the pandemic hit will be held starting tomorrow. The shows, which will have a 500-person live audience each day, will be held at the Sands Theatre at Marina Bay Sands on December 18th and 19th. Homegrown singers Benjamin King, Cesari and Charlie Lim will perform at the shows. As part of the pilot for pre-event testing, all ticket holders will need a valid negative antigen rapid test in order for entry. Free testing will be provided. SMRT has made a police report after a man got on a train with a non-foldable bicycle on Tuesday. A video of him swearing at passengers while his bike hung from the grab poles went viral on TikTok. SMRT said staff at Woodlands Station had tried to stop him from boarding a northbound train, but he was uncooperative. He subsequently transferred to a westbound train at Jurong East and exited at Pioneer Station. Only foldable bicycles and PMDs of a certain size are allowed on trains. Singapore has done it. Eating at hawker centres is now officially recognised by UNESCO on its intangible cultural heritage list. Multimedia journalist Yeo Sam Jo reports hawker culture is most definitely a part of who we are as Singaporeans.
Behind me is Ghim Moh Market and Food Centre, a familiar sight and popular eating spot for Singaporeans, and now a delicious cause for celebration. Just last night, Singapore's hawker culture was officially added to UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage. Minister for Culture, Community and Youth Edwin Tong and Minister for Sustainability and the Environment Grace Fu were at the Food Centre today to hand out celebratory decals to hawkers and thank them for their contributions.
Well, hawker culture is so much more than just about the food. It tells us a bit about the history, the heritage of the food, where it comes from. It's also a gathering point for people from all walks of life, different races, coming side by side. And I think the hawker centre is itself a representation of what we are in Singapore.
To celebrate the global recognition, a 3-week SG Hawker Fest will kick off on December 26th. Hawkers and patrons alike cheered Singapore's addition to the heritage list.
I'm actually very proud, very happy that Singapore actually got it, and I hope that this can be a stepping stone for like young hawkers to actually emerge from Singapore.
You know, sometimes you go to the Cai Fan store, and then if you have favor from the auntie and uncle, then they'll be like, "Xiao Mei, I give you more like roe or like vegetables and all." Yeah.
Having hawker culture on the list commits Singapore to protecting and promoting it. The country will have to submit a report every 6 years to UNESCO, showing the efforts made to safeguard and transmit hawker culture to future generations. And going by the crowd and food here at Ghim Moh today, Singapore's hawker culture is definitely here to stay. Yeo Sam Jo for the Straits Times.
And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a great evening and we'll see you tomorrow.